I remember thinking the hallway smelled too clean, like something trying to erase itself. The clinic always smelled that way. Reassuring, they probably thought. I sat with my hands folded over my coat, feeling foolish for being nervous. This was supposed to be routine. A box to check, a picture to take home. The technician had already dimmed the lights. The screen glowed in that soft, underwater gray. The gel was cold. The room was quiet except for the machine's low hum, the sound of a future being translated into data. The doctor came in smiling. She was younger than I expected, with tired eyes and a voice trained to be calm. She glanced at the screen, nodded, then frowned, not sharply, not dramatically. Just enough that I noticed. She adjusted something. Her fingers hesitated. The silence stretched. Not long. Just long enough to feel wrong. "Everything okay?" I asked, trying to sound casual. She didn't answer immediately. Her eyes moved between the screen and my face, as if measuring what could be said in this room and what could not. Then her hands started to shake. Not violently, precisely, like someone holding something heavy for too long. "I need you to sit up," she said. The paper crinkled beneath me, loud in the quiet. She turned off the monitor. The room felt suddenly exposed without its glow. She pulled a curtain aside and motioned toward a small office attached to the exam room. Her hand hovered near my elbow but didn't touch me. "Please," she said. "Come with me." Inside the office, she closed the door, not gently, not slammed. Deliberately. She didn't sit. Neither did I. "You need to leave?" she said. I laughed, a short, confused sound. "Leave where?" "Here, the clinic. Now." My chest tightened. Something wrong with the baby." She inhaled, slow and controlled. "I can't explain everything yet. You'll understand when you see this." She turned her screen toward me. The image was clearer here, annotated, marked with small, clinical notes I didn't know how to read. She pointed. "Once. This," she said. Then she stopped. I stared. I didn't understand at first. I wanted to believe I didn't. The human mind is generous with itself in moments like that. It offers alternatives, shadows, errors, but the longer I looked, the more the shape of it settled into certainty. "This isn't possible," I said. She nodded, not in agreement, but in acknowledgement of the sentence's weight. "That's what people say." I swallowed. "My husband," she held up a hand, not interrupting, grounding. "I need to be very clear," she said. "I'm speaking to you now not just as your doctor, but as a mandated professional. What I'm seeing is medically impossible given what you've reported about your life and timeline. There is no benign explanation." My ears rang. "So you're saying?" "I'm saying you need to protect yourself," she said. "And you need to leave. Today." The word divorce felt obscene in her mouth, like a swear word spoken in church. I asked why. I said later, though at the time I don't remember forming the question. "Why would you say that to someone you just met?" She looked at me for a long moment. Then she said, very quietly, "Because I see what happens when people don't listen." She printed something, folded it once, slid it across the desk. "Take this," she said. "Do not confront anyone alone. Do not delay, and please understand this isn't about blame. It's about reality." When I walked out of the clinic, the sun was too bright. People were laughing in the parking lot. A woman was arguing on her phone about groceries. Life, apparently, had not received the memo. I sat in my car and didn't turn the key. My phone buzzed. A message from my husband. How did it go? I stared at the screen until it went dark. I didn't go home. Not right away. I drove until the streets looked unfamiliar. I parked near a cafe and watched people through the window. Couples leaned toward each other. Someone reached across a table and squeezed a hand. I wondered how many of them were standing on fault lines they couldn't feel yet. The truth does not arrive all at once. It seeps. It reorders memories. The late nights. The business trip that made no sense. The way he'd corrected me gently when I mentioned dates, as if I were misremembering my own life. None of it had felt alarming then. Trust is efficient. It fills in gaps without asking permission. I didn't cry. Not that day. My body was busy doing something else, recalibrating maybe, preserving. When I finally went home, he wasn't there. His shoes were by the door. Everything else looked the same. The normality was almost insulting. I sat at the kitchen table and unfolded the paper the doctor had given me. It wasn't dramatic, just facts. Clinical language. Enough to be understood. Enough to be undeniable. There was no confrontation that night. Or the next. I moved carefully, quietly. I called a lawyer recommended by the clinic. I scheduled another appointment, this time with someone whose job was to translate betrayal into procedure. When my husband finally noticed the distance, he asked if I was okay. "I'm fine," I said. It wasn't a lie. It just wasn't the truth he expected. The power shift didn't come with shouting or tears. It came with documents, with calm voices, with the kind of authority that doesn't raise itself, When I told him I was filing for divorce, he laughed first. Then he got angry. Then he went very quiet. Why? He asked. I thought of the doctors shaking hands, of the door closing, of the moment someone with nothing to gain chose to intervene. I know, I said. That was all. The ending wasn't satisfying in the way stories promise. There was no moment of public reckoning, no apology that fixed anything. Just a long, slow unlearning of a life I'd thought was solid. But there was dignity in it, in leaving without spectacle, in choosing reality over comfort. Sometimes authority looks like a raised voice. Sometimes it looks like a professional refusing to look away. I still think about that ultrasound room. About how close I came to walking out with a picture and a lie. I didn't get the future I expected. But I left with myself intact, and that quietly was enough.